Hey guys, Resurgent here. I'm finally getting around to doing the Pokemon analysis. Due to the way some of the information was revealed, I decided the best way to do this is to do comparisons on the website itself rather than through any kind of uh, trailer analysis. I will do some analysis on the trailer, but it's mostly going to be through the website. And right away, I'm going to get this out of the way right away. UB01. It is specifically not listed as a Pokemon on the website. We will probably have to battle it. Koro got leaked today because people got their early copies in. Confirms there is at least one more, UB02, that seems to have different forms based on the game. Right away, when I saw this, my first thought was, this is Lily. This is her secret. And the website almost confirms that, saying that it seems to have taken on the shape of a young girl. And I have an image of Lily here that I'm going to bring up, and it just is for comparison's sake here. Whoops. Not sure what happened there. Let's try fixing that. There we go. So the way I cut it actually works out relatively well. You can see that they've got the hat. You can see how the hat gets made. You can see the long hair could be the tentacles. The two longer tentacles at the bottom would be the feet. Kind of fold out to a dress. It's I really think this is Lily, and that's going to lead on to the next section. And now that I don't need both windows anymore, I'll move one of them and get back to doing a full size here. I'm thinking that we will be battling the Ultra Beast, but we will not be capturing them, because I am so certain that UB01 is Lily. It just doesn't make sense if it's not. Everything's pointing to it. If it's not Lily, I'll be very surprised. But as I was saying, it's not the only one that UB01 resembles. And I need to go back here. I'll get to Simpson in a moment, by the way. Hold on a moment. I'm having an internet issue. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I apologize for that. As I was saying, this brings me up to my next point. UB01, who I will refer to as she from now on, also resembles Lusamine. And as you can see, and I will see if zooming in on my screen zooms in at all for you guys. I have absolutely no idea. Okay, good, that did work. Lusamine has the same platinum blonde hair, green eyes as Lily, and she's not the only one. I'll get to the next one in a moment, but first I'm going to go to the point that Lily is the leader of the Ether Foundation. And if they're not the bad guys, I will be very surprised. They're too happy and nice looking. And they feel like they'd be a better fit as the villains than Team Skull. I'm thinking that Team Skull is a scapegoat. The Ethos Foundation is said to help Pokemon that have been hurt by Team Skull, but we also know that Ubia-1 is definitely related to them in some way, as we have seen in the trailer. Ubia-1 appear before Lusamine, Hal, and the male player. This is part of why I think it's Lily, by the way, because Lily is nowhere to be seen there, even though we know that they've been traveling together. I've also noticed that Lusamine appears to have what is a giant Z crystal on her blouse, I guess. And we know that Z crystals use Pokemon life energy. An organization that's helping Pokemon probably wouldn't be having a massive life energy crystal. Especially since there doesn't seem to be a way to focus her own energy into it, which is what appears to be happening when the players and Hal's Gramps use their brains. Because when they use it, it looks like they're sending their own energy in with the Pokemon's. That way, it's not just using one person's life energy, but two, which cancels out. If you watch Once Upon a Time, you know the split heart thing. I firmly believe that's what the Z crystals are meant to represent to us. Why we need to have two, one for the Pokemon, one for us. Another member of the organization is Faba, and he is the branch chief. He has the green glasses. They are meant to resemble a Faba bean. These are all based off of plants, and all their names are based on plants, and most importantly, all their names are based off of plants that can hurt or harm, that can help or harm. So there's definitely that duality going there, where they may be a good organization or they may be a harmful one, and I'm leaning towards it being split. Lusamine, I think, is the most likely one to not be pure evil, as well as the other girl, which I'll get to in a moment. But Faba, there's no way Faba's a good guy. He's evil. He is so obviously evil. And we have Wick, the assistant branch chief to Ether Paradise. She has a caring personality. She's the one I most likely believe to be good. I feel like they have deliberately split this to be an obviously good one, an obviously evil one, and someone who may be doing bad things for the right reason. I do think we're going to have a case of they have good intentions, but they're going about things wrong. Lusamine feels like an N character to me. And she's not the only one, and I will get to the next one in a moment. Also, part of why I think they're going to be a bad organization, they have grunts. These are definitely grunts, there's no way around it. They're even called A and B, like the Skull Grunts. So, yeah. I definitely think that we're going to be fighting these guys. Now, to go into the next person, and hopefully this doesn't take me too far back. And now we're up to the next person on this list of things to review. Gladion, Team Skull's enforcer. Except, unlike every single other member of Team Skull we've seen, he has no skull motif anywhere on him. We know that he acts as the enforcer to Team Skull. He places a high value on being strong in Pokemon battles, and his partner is the new Pokemon type Null, who we'll get to after this. it's heavily implied, at least to me, that Type Null is meant to be one of those one-of-a-kind Pokemon like Mewtwo. Um, though even Mewtwo, there's ways to get around the being one-of-a-kind thing. Type Null, I believe, was created by the Ether Foundation. I believe Gladion took Type Null from the Ether Foundation. And this is the other person I think is going to be an N-type character doing the wrong things for the right reason. I think he's going to be our actual rival. I think that despite our only seeing him fight with Type Null at this point, he will be the one who has the starter that is strong against ours. Because Hal takes the one that's weak against ours. And we've never had it where we've only had that. There's always been someone with the starter strong against ours. And I think Gladion is going to be that person. Whether he gets his right away or gets it later on, I don't know. How soon we even see him, I've got no idea. I suspect the Ether Foundation stuff is going to be shortly after we do whatever we need to on Akala. They have to at least appear after Team Skull is introduced, I believe. So my guess is that we go from Melee to Akala to the Ether Foundation manufactured island in the middle, and then we go from there. But as you may have noticed already, Gladion also has that platinum blonde hair and green eyes that Lily and Lusamine have. And I'm not 100%, but I do believe he shares the theme plant naming, where it's harmful or helpful depending on how it's used. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. I'm not good with name origins and things like that. But since we got to Gladion, it's time to take a look at the new Pokemon that were the two new Pokemon that were revealed. And we're going to start with Type Null. Not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I thought that they were adding a Null type until I saw that it was a normal type Pokemon. It's definitely a manufactured Pokemon like Mewtwo or Porygon. The story says that it was created to be able to match, basically match the legendaries. It's more or less what it says. The helmet is to hold in its power. If this thing doesn't have a form change, I'll be very surprised. It's got so much power, it needs the helmet as a limiter. As you see, it looks like it's made from different types. It's got tail, looks like it belongs to water type. Back legs look like they might belong to a dark type. The front legs look like they might belong to bug. So it's definitely meant to look like a mix of different types. And I can't remember if it says here or not, but I do believe it's probably made by the Ether Foundation. Okay, yeah, it doesn't have to say on the English website. It might say on another one, but on this one it doesn't say anything. So that's what I'm noticing from Type Null. It actually kind of resembles the mixed up Eevee from the manga, just with different typings and some typings that Eevee doesn't even have. But I have a feeling it's definitely meant to resemble that, just be a mix of different types. And the other new Pokemon we have is Jangmo-o. I probably butchered that. I don't speak Japanese. Jangmo-o is pure Dragon type. Based on its design, I suspect that it is going to be our 3-stage Dragon type for the region. Our Dragonite line, basically. And again, it's pure Dragon, bulletproof and soundproof. It's that it always faces front to protect itself, and that trainers see that as it being a valiant Pokemon. I suspect that if Team Skull uses things like Zubat, the Ether Foundation will probably do stuff like Jangmo-o. Again, I am on the speculation that the Ether Foundation is someone we're going to have to battle through the story. It says that never neglect its training, it's always pursuing to grow stronger. It kind of has a bit of an Ankylosaur resemblance, and the scale on its head may actually be a heart scale. It may finally give us another way of getting heart scales outside Rock Smash and Love Disc. Alright, well, now that we've taken a look at the new Pokemon, let's take a look at the new Pokemon forms. Rattata we saw in a trailer a while ago, but I didn't do much about it, so it's pretty much the only thing of interest in there. Alone, Rattata's form changed due to its battle with Yungoos. For territory with Yungoos, this is very much based off of the real-life Asian mongoose being brought to Hawaii to get rid of rats that were invading Hawaii. Unfortunately, mongoose are diurnal, while rats are nocturnal, so they never actually met, and it does create another invasive species. This mirrors how Yungoos is a daytime Pokemon, and Rattata is a nighttime Pokemon, which lends into the 12-hour time difference as well, where our next new form is Moon's totem Pokemon for Mele Mele Island. The Sun's version is Gumshoes, keeping the diurnal nocturnal thing going. Presumably the totem Pokemon will always show up as being a specific time of day and will not go off the clock. They'll have the standard cutscene type thing. I've got to say, I love Alolan Raticate. It just fits so well. It's obviously the boss of a group. It clearly loves eating. I love the big cheeks. I love everything about this thing. Of course, I've always liked Raticate. Basically says that they live in urban areas and that Raticate will send out the Rattata to get food for it. It's also said that there's a certain restaurant that takes Raticate around with it because Raticate has very particular tastes and will be able to find the best food. If that's not a reference to Ratatouille, I don't know what is. I also will not be surprised if we see Team Skull using the Rattata a whole lot, and stuff like that too. Now that we're talking about the Alolan forms, it's time to go back to the characters. Let's see if I can find the right link. Here we go. We have Alolan Oak, or rather, Professor Oak's cousin, Samson. What's interesting is that Samson refers to two things here. One, the long hair that was Samson's weakness in the Bible, where it got cut off, got weakened. And it finally confirms that in the games in the US, Professor Oak is Samuel Oak. There's no way around that now. Samson only works if it's a reference to that. And this is further confirmed with the Japanese name being another name that's similar to Professor Oak's anime name. So, in the Alola region, Samson does research on the regional variants that have taken root. And, like I said, he's the cousin of the Professor Oak from the Kanto region. I would not be surprised to see some kind of interaction between the two, maybe over a phone call or something like that. But that's pretty much it for that stuff. That's all of that. There is one more story element to go through, and then an interesting gameplay element. And I will be back as soon as I get that story element up. Okay, and the next part that I am pretty sure is going to be part of the main story, as well as being a side quest of sorts. In fact, I don't think we're going to have anything that we really call a side quest this time, because I think the story's just going to be split into how you want to go about the story. Think like the Bethesda games, where there's a main story, but there's a whole bunch of side stories that all connect to the main story. I suspect we're going to have something similar to that, and this leads into it. We've got a pair of scientist superheroes back, Dexio and Cena. They're going to give us the Zygarde Cube, which will allow us to pick up Zygarde Core and Zygarde Cells. We were told previously that we would be able to upgrade our Zygarde from X and Y, but our Zygarde didn't have that ability to change, that allowed it to change forms. This actually might be our solution. We collect enough of those cells and cores, and we'll be able to combine them with that Zygarde, which will change its ability to that one that allows it to change forms. So we know that they're going to be found all around the Alola region. And I've got a gallery here. I can't remember all that's in here. They mentioned the group of 5 young trainers. That is, of course, the group from X and Y. Okay, so that's it for their information there. So but you can see they give us the key item, the Zygarde Cube, which is notably not a cube. It is a box, but it's definitely not a cube. It says that this is going to allow us to find Zygarde in Sun and Moon. I'm actually wondering if to get complete form, we actually need the Zygarde from X and Y and the Zygarde from Sun and Moon. It's definitely a possibility. We know from the anime that both can reach the 50% form, both Squishy and Z2. So it might be something similar to that. And I believe this gallery does show us finding some of the cell. Yeah, so the strange creature was sucked into Zygarde Cube, so that should be the cell, I believe, because it doesn't have the Keller thing inside of it. I believe that's the cores that have that. Yeah, so that was the Zygarde cell. So that's pretty much it on that section. And that's it for the main story stuff. But we also have a new feature that is probably one of my favorite features, and I'm assuming it's under the cool features section. Yes, it is. We have the PokeFinder, and for all intents and purposes, this is Pokemon Snap 2. So it looks like our Rotom Dex will let us know when there's a Pokespot when we have it on the map screen. So we go over there, it looks like we hit the R button, which is pretty standard for taking pictures on the 3DS. In this case, it was a Pikachu that was there, and you can take a picture of the Pikachu and then presumably upload it. It's unclear on this if this is an in-game comments thing or if this is something that you can actually upload it onto something like Miiverse and get the thumbs up. I don't know. I'm leaning towards the latter just because it feels like it's got to be it. You can also find some rare Pokemon flying around like Dragonite. In the video itself, Dragonite is actually flying around in more or less the same way it does when you find it in the Whirlpool in Pokemon Snap, so there's definitely references to it. And just shows off a couple of possible things here. It shows that Corphish is in Alola. We have Rockruff here, and you've probably already seen it, but Coro leaks did come out today. I've mentioned that already. And that did show that Rockruff does have the split day-night evolution. We've had split evolutions for a while, but I don't think we've had the day-night one since Espeon and Umbreon. This almost confirms the split evolution theory on the starters, because we know for a fact that Rockruff is connected to them. So I'm leaning towards the split evolution actually being a case there. I would not be surprised if we find out on Wednesday, or possibly tomorrow, depending on how many leaks there are, whether or not that's the case. The Japanese trailer also showed Cutiefly's evolution, which I'm pretty sure is the final evolution. It kind of reminds me of Comrades. It's got like a little scarf thing. I believe Cutiefly is going to be our two-stage bug evolution, like Masquerain or Venonat. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think this Dragonite may actually be found in that forest area that we keep seeing in the videos. We know that there's a totem Pokemon there, or a guardian Pokemon possibly for there. There's something important there, but there may also be photo spots there, so who knows? We do see comments on the pictures in the trailer, and I'm wondering if my theory that this is something that we can upload is correct, if these are comments that we select from to say how much we like the picture. And if it is, I would not be surprised if we see some Professor Oak's lines from Snap in there. Anyways, that's all I can go through without going through the trailer. I am going to go through the trailer bit by bit to see if I can find anything. I believe there was something specific that I wanted to take a look at, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to take a look at through the video here was the comment system I was mentioning earlier. This definitely appears to be something that we can select from. I could be wrong, I don't know. But I think that we'll be able to select from comments and view other people's pictures. I believe that these are the comments that have been put on people's pictures, and that we'll be able to comment and stuff for ourselves. It just feels like a natural way of doing it. Alright, next step is thing I want to take a look at is still within the the PokeFinder stuff, and yeah, they even reference Pokemon Snap in there with saying taking photos with a Snap. So really, this is Pokemon Snap 2. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, so you can see the way Dragonite's flying. It's similar to how it flies. Unfortunately, it's not on the English trailer, but there's another Snap reference that shows an Eevee running around in circles around a rock in the same way that the Eevee are chasing the Chansey in Pokemon Snap. Okay, so it must be in the Japanese trailer that we see the Ultra Beast interacting with Lusamine and the player character and Hal. So that's pretty much it for what I was able to find. If I find anything else, I'll make sure I put it up. I'm looking forward to whatever gets revealed this week. And I'm sure it's going to be more than just Rockruff's evolutions. Especially since our reveal is supposed to come the day before CoroCoro is officially out. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and as always, hope to see you next time. Have a great time, whatever it may be. Bye, guys!